You want me to put that on my tudger?
Harry's wife. Lock up your billionaires. Hello. I'm H.G. Tudor. Do you know a billionaire? Perhaps you're best buds with Bernard Arnault, who oversees the LVMH empire of 75 fashion and cosmetic brands, including Louis Vuitton and Sephora. If so, you might want to check on Mr. Arnault in the coming weeks to ensure that a limpet-like leech hasn't attached to him. Maybe you're good pals with Mr. Musk, and if he's not trying to get in shape to batter the Zuck, you may want to go and see to ensure that perhaps he isn't being courted by a particular mid-range narcissist. Perhaps you should go and check on Jeff Bezos if you know him, and give his head a little polish whilst at the same time checking out to see if a narcissist hasn't sunk her fangs in. If you know a billionaire in your locality, perhaps you owe it to them to go and check on their well-being. After all, they are human beings too. So if you happen to know Larry Ellison or Warren Buffett or Bill Gates, Michael Bloomberg, Mukesh Ambani, Steve Ballmer, Francois Bettencourt, Larry Page, Amancio Ortega, Sergey Brin, Zhong Zhashan, the Zuckerberg, Charles Koch, Jim Walton, Rob Walton, Alice Walton. Yes, check out and look out for those Walmart people. Michael Dell, Gautam Adani, Phil Knight, Zhang Yiming, Dieter Schwartz, Francis Pinar, Klaus Michael Kurena, and Giovanni Ferrero, amongst others. Check on John Mars and Ma Huteng. Look out for Ken Griffin and Robin Zeng. Make sure you check that Mark Mateschitz and Len Blafnik are all okay. These individuals, whose fortunes arise from luxury goods, from Amazon, from Oracle, from Berkshire Hathaway, Microsoft, from L'Oreal, from Google, from Zara, from Beverages, from Facebook, from Koch Industries, Fnar, from Dell Technologies, from infrastructure, commodities, fashion and retail, technology, media and entertainment, and so on and so forth. All of these billionaires, you might, if you happen to know them, just want to go and pop round and make sure that they're okay, and that Harry's wife isn't like some kind of face sucker from Alien attached to them for the purposes of controlling them, drawing fuel from them, and of course getting her sticky mitts on their billions. Why? Why might you ask that it's necessary to lock up the billionaire to keep them safe? Well, the reason being is that the Express reports that Harry isn't around at the moment. Harry is facing criticism, as reported by Rebecca Perring, by being blasted as a rich Westerner on an adventure holiday, whose visit will do nothing to save the rhino during his ongoing trip to Africa. So, whilst old hapless Has comes under yet more criticism, the fact is, he's done his very best to keep a low profile during his travels. He's actually spending 3 months working on conservation projects in South Africa, Botswana, Tanzania, and he's currently in Namibia. This, however, has attracted criticism from a senior minister in the Namibian government who's mocked Harry as a rich Westerner whose visit won't change anything. Pahamba Shifeta, the country's Minister of Environment and Tourism, spoke of his concerns that the royal trip could turn into a publicity stunt. He said, "Harry is not the first prominent person to visit Namibia and get involved with its conservation projects. We receive a lot of prominent people." Despite gladly posing for pictures with the prince, Mr. Shifeta added, "We appreciate this, but we don't want to turn it into a public relations exercise." Harry and his older brother Prince William support the Tusk Trust charity in its stance against so-called trophy hunting, urging African governments to make it illegal to hunt rare and endangered species such as rhinos and elephants. But Mr. Shafita defended Namibia's tolerance of the practice and warned Harry not to speak out against trophy hunting. He said, "People need to understand that the hunting of these animals is totally legal. This is completely within the framework of our laws." And Wunda Gochu, great name, news editor at local newspaper in the Namibian, said there were bigger things to worry about than a royal visit and dismissed Harry as a rich Westerner who has everything. He said, "I haven't seen any sign of Prince Harry here. They say it's a private visit and we are not even allowed to take his picture. Why should we fuss about him when so many people are living below the poverty line, living in shacks? The boys' visit here will not change anything. People still go hungry. People who have no jobs will still have no jobs when he goes back." And continuing his scathing rant, Mr. Gochu said Harry's visit would not have an impact on hunters targeting endangered animals for their tusks or horns. He added, "As long as there is a market for what the poachers are selling, Prince Harry could spend 10 to 20 years in the country, and that would not make any difference. He should go to China and campaign there, saying, 'Please don't buy it.' How can hungry men care about whether a rhino or an elephant is killed? You're talking about somebody who hasn't got a job, who sleeps on an empty stomach. Do you really think he has time to think about what is happening in the jungle? Prince Harry has everything. Most people here don't." The critical remarks are likely to come as a blow to Harry, who has already visited Save the Rhino and Desert Lion projects in Namibia's Kunene region. He will also dedicate 2 months to working with wildlife protection experts, as well as working alongside Zimbabwean-born Pete Markle, who is helping to combat threats to the rare black rhino. So Harry's off in Namibia trying to do some good. Fair play to him. Africa, as I've explained before, is a place that feels comfortable for him, where he can reach some contentment. But he's getting a good slapping off the Namibians for his attendance there. But it's not the only problem that he faces. Whilst he's in Africa, this means that the spider can do as she pleases back in the United States. Oh, she'll be keeping a grip on him with the telephone calls and text messages. But it enables her to be freed up so that she is able, during his sustained devaluation, to start sniffing out a replacement or to continue on work that she has already engaged in. As I have explained to you before, the most likely outcome for Harry is that he's going to be disengaged from, as a consequence of him no longer proving any use to her, and, alternatively, as a consequence of her finding somebody else. She has no emotional empathy for him, sees herself as entitled to do what she wants, and in the circumstances, she would quite readily cheat on him, as I've made very clear. With him being out of the country, this now provides her with a golden opportunity to start sniffing around for what's out there, or continuing with engaging with these individuals where she has already done so. Unfettered by his presence, able to do more, the likelihood is that she will be looking to sink her fangs into some poor hapless individual, which is why my early declaration for people to check in on those billionaires and ensure that they're locked up out of harm's way is entirely relevant. Now, Harry's wife is on the hunt and is looking to seduce the replacement for Harry. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.